Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ice Cold Takes podcast. I'm your host, Joey DiMaglio. The New York Rangers were the first team to clinch a playoff spot in 2024 on Tuesday against the Philadelphia Flyers. They're still first in the Metro, and they're trying for that President's Trophy. Joining me today to talk all about it and the Mets opening day loss. They actually lost on opening day for like the first time ever. Is Nick Rose. What's
Yes,
going on,
sir.
man?
What up? It's been a while, man. It's been
Yeah,
a
I
while
know.
since we did a cold take. Has it been since Jersey?
Yeah, I think so. I think since we did the Airbnb. Evan's in the chat here, of course.
Yes, sir.
Um, we're good. We're good. The Rangers are done with this really, really rough stretch. Well,
hmm
I shouldn't say done with the rough stretch. I should say they're done with playing the toughest opponents.
Yeah, the, the
They
the
just
top
played
10 teams are gone. No
the
more
top
top
10
10
teams
teams.
are gone. Like the toughest team that they'll have to face, like standings wise, from here on out, is Detroit.
hmm
And is fighting is the closest team to a playoff spot out of
Yeah, they're
all the teams
18th
that
in
they
the
have to
league.
play. The Rangers have to play Pittsburgh, they have to play the Devils, the
hmm
Islanders, Montreal. I think they have to play,
Yep.
and then the last game of the season's Ottawa. So, I mean, the Rangers are in good spot right now, especially considering the fact that they just beat the Panthers, they beat the Bruins, and they beat the Avalanche on Thursday, right?
hmm
These are all Stanley Cup contenders, and the Rangers beat them all. They needed extra
Yeah.
time for
They
the
don't ask
Panthers.
how. I
They
don't know.
don't ask how. They needed extra time for the Panthers and the Avalanche, but boy, they were right there with them. This isn't like this isn't like, all right, the Rangers just lucked their way to a victory. I think the Rangers were neck and neck with them. If you look at the analytics too, we'll go over the Panthers game. It was actually very, very even. I was looking at the stats on Natural Stat Trick. Shot attempts at 5-on-5, the Rangers had a 48-38 advantage. Close, but the Rangers held the advantage. Unblocked shot attempts, 32-29 Rangers. That's very close. Let's go to the scoring chances. Scoring chances for 15-14. So that's very, very close at 5-on-5. 5-on-5. High danger chances were 5-5. Very, very even game. That could have gone either way.
Yep.
Very much like the first time the Rangers played the Panthers at the Garden.
Yes.
When
Almost identical.
Shesterkin let off that very soft goal in the third period, and the Rangers were never able to recover. The Rangers went down 2-0 against the Panthers. They had a very, very strong second period. Then they let up a late goal to Carter Verhaeghe, who hadn't scored in a little while. And then they tied it like almost immediately, maybe on the next shift or two.
hmm
So one of the things me and Matty M were talking about last week was how the Rangers respond to adversity moments. So I think the Rangers did just that against the Panthers. Like they had that moment where Verhaeghe scores and it looks like it's going to be the game-winning goal, but
hmm
boom, right, they come right back and they tie it. I think Panarin got credit for the goal. I can't remember, but Lafreniere was at the front of the net.
Yep.
It goes
Battling.
in. They fight him off in overtime, and then they get to the shootout. Unfortunately, Gustafsson goes down with an injury. I don't want to speculate, but it looked pretty bad. He got like elbow drop to the face
He'll
by
be out for a bit. But with that,
go
if it
ahead.
guarantees Zach Jones more time in the lineup when Trouba's back, it sucks. But to tell you the truth, I think Zach Jones has been playing significantly better than Eric Gustafsson was playing. So it sucks for Gustafsson, but for the Rangers, I don't know how much of a loss that is right now.
Yeah, I think Jones. I need to talk about Zach Jones. I think it's
Kid's a stud. I
yeah,
can't.
he's been
His
great.
his comeback tour has been insane. Considering the fact that we all, and myself included, after watching him in the preseason, the early parts of this season, were a-okay with the Rangers trading him for anything they could get at this point, just to get him off the roster and give a guy like Robertson or anyone else a chance. To do what he's doing right now, it's beyond physical maturity. It's mental maturity. It's everything maturity. The kid has gotten better at every facet of the game. He's playing physical. He's laying body checks. I did not even know he knew how to do that. He's to tell you the truth, he did not even look out place when he was paired with Adam Fox. And not that pair
No,
did
they
great
look sharp.
necessarily together. They looked good. They didn't look great. But the fact that this kid, who really did not play a whole lot this season, I'm very happy with him. And I think that he could be, if he is not penciled into the lineup, going into next season and the Rangers sign, for some reason, another bottom six left-handed defenseman to take his spot, I would be so pissed off because it would be typical Rangers fashion to sit a young guy on the bench, have him come in and play well, and then be like, you're done. We're going to replace you with a veteran who sucks.
I wasn't going to say this, but I might as well. But like, if it weren't for Gustafsson and Goudreau and the tight cap space, you might be saying like, dude, what the hell are you talking about right now?
I know.
But if it weren't for these guys in the tight cap situation, the Rangers might never have given Zach, like, there might never be a chance for Zach Jones to get even thought of as a possible sixth defenseman next season.
Which is
it's because Gustafsson was so effective at being the Rangers always go for the Harpers, the Tenorities, Nemeth, like all the big guys that can't skate.
Go back even further, Justin Falk and all those guys.
Justin Falk,
the plague of the 44s, the defenseman award number 44. Matt Hunwick. Well, actually, Hunwick was good.
Well, Hunwick was a puck mover. Like,
yeah, Hunwick was actually okay.
Like, but the guys that just throw bodies that can't really skate at all, like that's the Rangers' MO. But they gave Gustafsson a chance, and they saw how he did. He had a pretty good season. If it weren't for those guys, we might have someone like Ben Sherratt locked into a deal, and that would be awful. That would be significantly worse than Barclay Goodrow on our fourth line.
It's not like the Rangers didn't try to get Sherratt. They tried to get Sherratt.
Remember that first round pick for that guy?
Dude,
he's bad.
He's terrible. He's worse than Hitler. He's just awful.
Whoa. Okay, hang on a second.
Just playing. He sucks.
Back.
He sucks. Edmondson, who they wanted, sucks. For some reason, they wanted Max Pacioretty. He sucked. I don't understand what the Rangers' infatuation with slow-moving, can't-move the puck players are. Even Pacioretty, who's actually scoring at a pretty okay clip in Washington. We lost Blake Wheeler to injury, and the biggest complaint about Blake Wheeler is couldn't skate.
He's old.
Couldn't move the puck. Couldn't shoot. Couldn't do anything. So the Rangers' immediate catharsis is, let's get the exact same player who holds a left-handed stick and has a different number. So what are we even doing? And Roslovic, honestly, I don't even think Roslovic has been playing that great. He's been playing good, not great.
Right.
Him playing okay is better than anything about Max Pacioretty, just in the fact that he skates fast enough where sometimes Zibanejad and Kreider are forced to skate a little bit harder to keep up with them.
I also think I got to give Zibanejad credit where it's due. I think he's picked up his game a little bit in the past few weeks. I still need him to score some more goals, but Kreider has gone on a downward spiral, man.
Oh my God,
Kreider is not doing anything at all. That guy needs to pick up the forechecking. He's got to pick up the speed. He's like a passenger out there. Did you see in overtime? I know you reacted to the overtime. I didn't watch your Avalanche one. I watched your other one, the Panthers one, or the Flyers one. I watched that one. But Kreider in the defensive zone, he left the guy unmarked, and he came right out. I think that was Taze, and he got a glorious chance to win the game. He wasn't paying attention again.
I understand. Like, look, 54-goal season, great. 30-goal seasons a few times, great. I cannot believe that this man's making $6.5 million. He has I sometimes seriously don't think he has any mind for the game at all. The best Chris Kreider that we've ever seen was one when he parked his fat ass in front of the net. I say fat ass, he's jacked as hell. But when he parked his big ass in front of the net, tipped pucks, knocked in rebounds, or when he first came into the league, would protect the puck, drive the net, forehand backhand, and it worked 50% of the time. He hasn't done either one of those things consistently this season. And granted, he's got 30, 34 goals this season, which is still good. I couldn't. I'm telling you right now, if I did not know his goal total and the season ended tomorrow with all 82 games played, and I watched every single game and was not 100% sure of his goal total, I tell you, he maybe scored 20 goals. Maybe.
Yeah, like a season before he signed the extension. Like, you know how he was like, all right, yeah, maybe he gets 30 goals this year, falls short again.
Terrible. And oh God, dude. And I know Kakko really hasn't been playing great either, but I think Kakko will be a lot more effective in front of the net than Chris Kreider. Maybe not at deflecting pucks, but at least when he gets the puck down low, his hockey IQ is good enough to know if he should shoot or pass and make a quick little touch pass. And he has the hands to back it up, where if he does get the puck in tight, he's probably going to make a move and score or create a rebound. Kreider I'm going to hit the puck as hard as I can or get a deflection, which is he's probably still, besides Joe Pavelski, maybe the best at deflecting pucks in the entire NHL. So I'm not taking that away from him, but he just stone hands, no hockey IQ. We could be doing a lot better with $6.5 million.
He's
especially
on
because he slows down 5v5, which is where we need him 5v5.
You know what? I have a few things I have to say. First of all, when he scored that power play goal, we were like, me and my dad were like, "Oh, he finally scored."
Yeah.
And then we see like a stat graphic, and it says Chris Kreider, 12 points in the last 14 games.
It's like
Where?
how?
How has he
How?
had 12 points in 14 games? That is the most invisible 12 points I have ever seen in my
Yeah.
life.
Dude,
Like that.
he's got
How is he
66
getting these
points in
points?
73 games. The fact that this man is 8 points, am I doing the math right? 7 points off of being a point per game blows my mind. The quietest 60-point season I've ever seen in my life, and this is the New York Rangers where we had a leading point scorer of less than 60 points for years straight. I remember the year Zook led the team in scoring with like 59 points, and I
Yeah,
was sure he was scoring a point a game. Kreider has 7 more points than that 59 points in 82 games, and he's done it in 9 less games, and it doesn't feel like
inflation.
he's ever scoring. It's bizarre.
Inflation.
Yeah,
The puck
inflation.
is juiced up. It's like the baseballs. Remember when Alonso hit
Yes.
54 home
Yes.
runs? The other thing also, last year, Kreider was like doing really well. He was actually laying the body and forechecking when he was playing
Yeah.
with Trocheck. Remember around this
Yes, we
time
talked
last
about
year?
this. Yes.
I
Ad
remember this. He was
nauseum.
like actually hitting. He was actually getting behind the goal
Yep.
line and making plays and
Yep.
stuff. And it was like, all right, this guy looks ready to go for the playoffs. And sure enough, he was the Rangers' best player in the playoffs. He was the
Yep.
only guy that was able to score goals on the Devils. If you needed a goal, you go to him. And of course, he's a playoff performer. But
Yes.
like, I don't know about going into this year, man. Like this year, I hope he could. He looks like he's on cruise control, like on autopilot.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because he's getting older and he wants to, ease off a little bit. He knows that the other guys could carry the weight. In which case, that's not really what a good thing.
It's it's not.
In my
It's not.
opinion, I don't think that's a good look, especially when you're
It's
one of the
not a recipe
captains
for
of the team.
success.
No, it's not a
Not
recipe
when
for
you're wearing a
success.
letter on your jersey.
Exactly, exactly. So I don't know what's going on there. I hope if there's something going on, like he figures it out. I hope he could put everything together. I mean, he is points wise. You could be complaining a lot more. He
Yeah.
is getting the production
The points are
somehow,
there.
even
The
though we
points are
don't
somehow
notice it.
there.
The points are somehow there.
They
What is it?
exist.
How many points off from a point per game is he?
He's got 66 to 73, so he's 7 points off,
That's
which blows
insane.
my mind. I literally I don't understand. I don't understand how he's
The
doing it.
Rangers have never had guys that were like point per game players. Like the last generation of Rangers was always just about defense and let's balance out the
Couldn't
scoring. Like
score.
everyone's gonna get 40 to 50 points. Maybe
Yeah.
we'll have a 60-point guy, but
We
never have a
also
70-point guy.
we also watch hockey in an era where Jamie Benn won the Art Ross with 89 points.
Yes.
Scoring's
Yes.
gone up.
I told you inflation.
Yeah, and I don't even know what changed. I mean, I definitely think the players got better. The size of the net didn't change. The goalies, if nothing else, have gotten better. I don't know. I think it's just the players have gotten better. The game's gotten a little bit faster. You could replace Kreider. Yeah,
Dempsey,
100% could replace him.
Kempe was like, yeah, that dude. I don't know how they got that deal though. But if it's $1 million cheaper, he's a 40 goal scorer. Kempe's a
The
beast.
Rangers overpaid to keep Kreider, and I don't understand why. Now, granted, he was signed at a time where the cap was still expected to go up and up and up and up and up, and then COVID happened. So fair play, fine, but it still sucks because they probably
I
could have gotten a really good haul for him. I forget what it was, but
It
Evans
was
brought
a
up a million.
first in Cairo, I remember,
Yeah,
or
it's
first
like
in Martin Kaut from
yeah,
Avalanche. That
what
wouldn't have been good. First in
whatever.
Cairo.
I would have still taken the first of Martin Kaut just because one, it's $6.5 million more. Two, it's a first round pick. Who knows who they would have used with that pick? It's just like, hey, you know what? This is the team we have right now. Hindsight is 2020. This is what we're dealing with. This is the hand we were dealt. You got to play your hand. They
Oh,
might not be the prettiest with the eye test, but they are finding ways to win somehow. I don't care if it's the most boring Stanley Cup playoffs in NHL history. If the Rangers win the Stanley Cup, I'm going to be a happy camper. So they don't ask
yeah,
how.
because of Kreider's production, I'm okay with the $6.5 million. I'm
Mm.
totally fine with it. Honestly, like
Jason Robertson in a first. That's what it was.
Robertson in the first. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
remember hearing that one, but I know
Mm.
I saw people floating that out there. But I always say this, like,
Mm.
what's to say that the Rangers are going to screw up the development of that player? You know what I mean? Like,
Guys that are that good, it would take a lot of effort to screw that up. But who knows?
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Who knows?
Also, you mentioned Kako. I have to say, Kako had a fantastic game. The
Mhm.
Fantastic Finn actually had a great game against the
Playing
Avalanche.
well.
Yeah,
Playing better since
at the
coming back from
very
injury.
beginning of the season, like right when Laviolette was hired, I said he needed to. I made a prediction. I said that Laviolette needed to find spots. He needed to carve out roles for Lafreniere
Mhm.
and Capo Caco, like how Broussard and Zuccarello were found spots by Vigneault in
Right.
2013-14. Well, look what's happened. Lafreniere is Panarin's right winger,
Yep.
and Capo Caco is a defensive third liner on the shutdown line.
Yep.
And the roles are like they mesh so well together. I know Kaká was a second overall pick, but like defense has been one of his strong things. I don't even know if he's actually trying to play defense or if it's just like
He's just
coming
naturally good
natural.
at it. He's
Yeah,
naturally very gifted.
I was gonna say that because he's having trouble with with skill and stuff. I mean, he did make a great play where he banked the puck in from behind the net.
Mhm.
I knew exactly what he was trying to do, and he pulled it off. I knew exactly what he was trying
Yeah.
to do. It was great thinking on his part, because Georgiev was out of position, and he just banked it in off his back or his glove hand, the back
Mhm.
of his glove, whatever it
He's
was.
smart. He's a smart player. He's
Yeah,
still a good player. He's an effective player. It's like you still want more out of your second overall pick, but
yeah.
again, just to go back to this is the hand you were dealt. This is the hand that you have. Yeah, would I have traded him for Jack Eichel? In hindsight, yes. Would I have done a lot of things differently with Cabo Caco? Yes. But this is the player that we have now. He's effective in his role. I wish he would score more. It's coming. It's almost there, but also another thing too, he's averaging 2 minutes less a game than he was last year, which could also attribute to
Hmm.
scoring deficits compared to what he had last year. He's also playing less what's the less offensively.
Less of the starts in the offensive zone, maybe. I
Yeah,
don't
like
know.
he's not his shifts are not out there to create offense anymore. Like
To shut
as you said,
down.
he's out there with Will Cooley. Will Cooley's a very talented player, but Will Cooley is get in there, bang bodies, get off the ice. He's not like Lafreniere and Hito that are skating the puck in the zone, snapping it around, taking dangerous shots, and who it was Wenberg. Before it was Wenberg, it was fucking Barclay Goodrow.
Or
Let's
Brodzinski.
and right, it was Brodzinski too. It's like let's call it what it is at this point. Cabo Caca was literally playing with a guy in his first year in the NHL whose, again, role was to hit people on the third line. And Cooley's been great at it. Will Cooley's one of my favorite players in the Rangers.
Yes,
I am not indicting Will Cooley
absolutely.
here. And Johnny Brodzinski, who I think has, 17 points in 50 games, a 29-year-old AHL call-up who's playing well. He's playing good for him, but it's like, he's playing with those two compared to last year. He was playing with Alexis Lafreniere and Philip Hedl, who had the best year of his career. So
Mhm.
I don't want to say it's all Capo Caco's fault that he's having a shit year.
Yeah,
He's literally
no,
playing with two guys that were in the AHL last year.
it's the beginning of the year that was really the reason
And
why
he's
he's in
gotten
this
hurt
spot.
2 or 3 times and injuries that would slow any normal human being down. So it's
Yeah.
not entirely Caco's fault
We
that he's
thought that
not playing
we thought
well.
that injury was bad. We thought it was
Dude,
really bad. He
I
was
thought his
very
knee
lucky.
exploded. I thought his
Yeah,
career was over, and that
yeah,
motherfucker came back and is scoring more than he did beforehand. But now
yeah.
that he's been playing with Alex Wenberg and he's playing with Will Cooley, who's forced to skate a little bit more and move the puck a little bit more with a guy like Alexander Wenberg, you're seeing Capo Caco scoring go up. His minutes have somehow gone down. Just to reference that real quick, so everyone understands what I'm saying about Caco's minutes.
He's at
So
11 goals right now. He
yes,
only had a couple goals when he got hurt. He had like 3 maybe.
yes, Capo Caco right now is averaging the lowest time on ice per game in his entire career. All
Wow,
right.
that's
His
worse than
rookie his rookie
Quinn.
year, his rookie year was the second lowest at 14 minutes and 16 seconds of time on ice per game. Right now he's at 13-16 time on ice per game. The lowest of his career. It's not even close. It's a minute difference. And I think a lot of that, again, has to do with the fact that Brodzinski and Cooley were on the same line as him. First year in the NHL with a veteran coach like Peter Laviolette, he trusted his top two lines a little bit more and even his fourth line for some reason a little bit more and gave them more ice time, gave them more the benefit of the doubt. So this is just a breakdown of Capo Caco since the trade deadline. The trade deadline was what? February, or was it March? It was March what?
March 8th, I think.
I don't even remember.
I'm pulling up the calendar. It was March
Yeah.
8th. Yeah.
It was March 8th.
So
Okay.
we're a little over 3 weeks.
Okay. All right. So since Wenberg has been on the team, 12 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 12 minutes, just under 12 minutes, 14, 14, 10, 12, 12, 11, 12. he's not getting a whole lot of ice time
No,
to succeed. But in that limited ice time, since getting Wenberg, 4 goals, 1 assist, and 10 games?
I will say the
So
line moves. What's the point totals in 10 games?
I think 4 goals, 1 assist. So 5 points in 10 games. So half a point a game player,
The
which is
metrics
exactly
is
the pace
probably
he was
good.
on last year, playing an average 2 less minutes a game compared to where he was last year. So his scoring pace since the trade deadline, since playing with Alexander Wenberg and no longer Johnny Brzezinski, missing Wenberg for a game, mind you, is averaging half a point a game, better than last year, and doing it in less time on ice.
I'm gonna pull
So
up the stats here, like on Natural Stat Trick, because I'm very interested to see what it is.
mm,
Wenberg, Kako, and Will
Cooley.
Cooley. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see how many games did they play together at 5-on-5. 9 games. Shot attempts 51-30. That's great. Shots for 26-11. One goal at 5-on-5. 1 goal for, 0 against. Expected goals for is 50.54%. Not bad. It's okay. Scoring chances
Above
for,
average.
24 scoring chances 4-13. Very good. High danger chances are even 6-6. So they're playing really well to get like that.
They're
This is a
effective.
line I honestly feel very comfortable. Oh, and offensive zone faceoffs 14, neutral zone faceoffs 17, defensive zone faceoffs 3. So actually, they are getting a lot of offensive zone faceoff time. But
And
I
they're
mean,
still, yeah, they're not giving up very many chances. I
you
mean, when they
see
lose
them
the puck,
play.
it's not embarrassing
You
to
see
them.
them get. You see them play in the defensive zone a lot too.
Yes.
But
Yes.
they're very good. Kako's a great stick checker. Wenberg will block a shot, and Cooley's a great physical player. I love the third line, and honestly, I feel like for once, I feel like the team could roll 4 lines, even
Yes.
with the fourth line with Goodrow. Like I
Yes.
feel like at any point, any player could score a goal.
Yeah.
I hadn't felt like that at all this season. It was only a 2-line team, and now it's a
Yes.
3 or 4-line team.
Yes.
Very similar to how 2013-14, like those Rangers, this 14-15 Rangers, you throw anybody out there, I have confidence that they could get a good
Yeah.
shift going and they could score a
Yeah.
goal. And I like making the comparison to the 2013-14 team because that was my team growing up,
Yep.
and it was like the most recent, like successful generation that we had. Um,
Yeah, and there are definitely similarities between that team. I think this team might be a little bit closer to 11-12 in that Panarin's clearly by far the MVP of the skaters. We had Marian
Gabrick,
Gabrick like that
yeah,
in 11-12, but they're also unique in their own way in that there's actually like there's good young talent on this team.
yeah.
They made good deadline acquisitions. I think the deadline acquisition in 11-12, if they even had, I don't even know
I
if
don't
they
think they did.
had
They
one.
only traded for John Scott. That's it.
Yeah, I don't really think they did a whole lot. But
No.
no, this team has its own identity. It's on paper, it's actually a pretty good team. Again, the eye test has really not been great, especially moving the puck in the defensive zone has been
Yeah, no, it's not been
the breakout has not been great. But whenever, for some reason, whenever they go behind, you think this team was the Stanley Cup favorites because they play phenomenal from behind. It's just a matter of getting behind first so we can actually see them play well. Because the game's knotted up, or if they're ahead, they kind of fall apart.
right.
But when they're behind, it's not a team better right now.
Let's talk about this. The insane game against the Flyers. I mean, the Flyers completely dominated the first 2 periods. Like the Rangers did not
To
show
say
up to
the
play this
least.
game at all. The Rangers were not there at all to play this game. Maybe the first few minutes of the first period, but then after that, the
Yes.
Flyers just really, really took it to them. Like they gave them such a hard time breaking the
Yeah,
puck
that was
out. They were
a
turning it
fugly game.
over. Like, and you know what? Like the scoring chances they had. If you look on Natural Stat Trick, I was fine. I was okay. Okay. I'll just say I was okay with the defense. You might be saying, like, come on, Joey, like toughen up a little bit here. Like you're being ridiculous. But first
Positive
and
D.
second period, okay. When you compare it to what they gave up in the third
Yep.
period, where the defense just completely went out the
Yep.
window,
Yep.
come on.
Yeah,
Like the defense it was like
it was
John
terrible.
Tortorella's worst nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
Both teams stopped playing defense. It was a track meet going back and forth chances. I mean, certainly entertaining. but not a
Yes,
way you want to win in the
fine,
playoffs.
fine, but it's like, you know, need a little bit of oomph there. Team
Uh, uh,
needed it.
uh, oh my gosh! At 5-on-5, Philadelphia had 72 shot attempts, and the Rangers only had 46.
Oh my god.
um, High danger chances through 2 periods. It was 7-2 Flyers. The Flyers had 7 high danger chances in the third period. The Rangers had 3. That's what I'm saying. Like the defense went out the window in that third period. VZ had such a terrible game. He
Yeah.
was directly responsible for 2 of the goals that the Flyers scored in the third period.
Mm,
I was very surprised that he didn't get a night off against Colorado.
yeah. I was a little bit surprised about that too, personally, but worked out somehow.
Lafreniere and Zibanejad, though. Zibanejad, I have to give him credit again.
Been playing well
He had a
lately.
very solid game. Defense, we forget about the defense.
Yes.
He's matched up against other teams' top lines.
One thing I'm happy with
did really
Zibanejad
well.
lately, and he could still do more,
I
is that we're seeing
absolutely.
we are seeing a Mika Zibanejad who's actually skating with the puck and making moves with the puck again.
Yes,
The
yes.
shifty little neutral zone moves where it looks like he's getting boxes surrounded and somehow comes up with a puck. He had a skate up the middle of the ice. I think it was in the second or third period where he cut around 2 guys and just missed dummying the third guy. It ended up in a turnover. I think the puck still ended up in the offensive zone, but
I think I remember. Yeah.
I like that he's actually skating harder and playing a little bit harder. One thing about Kreider and Zibanejad is they could very much change the way the fan base is looking at them right now because they're looking like crap right now. They, despite their point totals, have played like shit this season. By the way, Mika March, for one that celebrates Mika March, 9 points in 13 games.
It's nothing special.
That's the furthest thing from special. But back to Mika and Kreider and how they could change their ways is that they have a really good playoffs. The playoffs, like Fitz talks about it all the time, 16-game players. We've seen Zibanejad and Kreider be 16-game players. If they could be 16-game players this year and start carrying at least some of the freight in the playoffs, I don't know, man. If you get the 18, 19, 19, 20 Mika Zibanejad and the 2020, 2021 Chris Kreider in the playoffs, on top of everything else the team has and is building off of right now, could be a really good playoffs.
Yeah.
But a lot of the Rangers' playoff success is going to be based on our first line center and our first line left winger doing a little bit more than being power play merchants and a winger who doesn't forecheck, barely back checks, misses assignments, and a center who just decides to sleep 2 or 3 periods on any given night.
Mm-hmm.
So they could fix that. Who knows?
Which is why I'm not even looking at Roslovic at this point still. It's just like, all right,
he's been a little disappointing lately, though.
He's added a little bit of speed. He's added a little bit of speed to the line, but I need Kreider to start skating a little bit harder.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just I don't know what I'm looking at here. Also in that game against the Flyers, Rempe didn't get too much ice time. I feel like he needs to get in there. I don't know. I like watching him play. He gives other teams fits.
Yes. I don't know why he wasn't in the
I saw
lineup.
someone in the chat here said had on the Panthers, I think, had trouble. Was it Kachuk? Kachuk was nervous with Rempe on the ice. Yeah. That's the thing. I think Rempe could still make a pretty good impact.
Well, and you see how differently teams play based on their leadership group. I mean, we saw last night a Colorado Avalanche team where for somehow every single player on that team, despite some of them not being skilled, was a skilled player. They all skated fast. They all played hard. That's a rub off of Nathan MacKinnon. When we played the Florida Panthers, every single player on that team plays hard and plays physical. That's a rub off of Matthew Tkachuk. The New York Islanders, now granted, Anders Lee is not nearly as effective as he used to, but Anders Lee plays the game very hard, very physical. It rubbed off on the entire team, top to bottom. When teams' leaders play hard or play a certain style, players tend to follow suit. The issue we had with the beginning of this year, and still now, is guys like Kreider and Zibanejad, we're just so passive. And they weren't even playing a good skill game. They just weren't. It was just, I don't even know
They
how to
need to
describe it.
they
It
need
was
to
a lame, boring brand of hockey that was rubbing off on the rest of the team. And thank God Artemi Panarin decided to put on a canvas backpack this year and truck us through this season.
I was gonna say, I know Trouba is the captain, but he's not the player you're gonna model your game after.
No,
Like
it's impossible.
it's
He's too
Panarin. The
big and too
Kreider and
slow.
Zibanejad
Yeah.
need to be like they need to be as decisive as Panarin is this season. Not Panarin last season, Panarin this season. That guy makes stuff happen, right? If you look
Yeah.
to your leaders and stuff, like you're saying, everyone on Colorado skates
Panarin
fast. That
finds a way.
team,
Yeah.
the Rangers actually kept up with them,
Yeah,
which is
somehow.
pretty good.
This is why I wish in hindsight I know we kind of needed to name a captain because we hadn't had one in so long. A guy like Vincent Trocheck I thought would have been perfect because that motherfucker, no matter what the score is, who we're playing against, what time in the game it is, it does not matter. That dude does not know a speed besides 110%. That dude always gives it all as every juncture of the game. He takes dumb penalties and he does stupid shit sometimes fine, but that dude skates so hard. You want to talk about a player I wish would rub off on the rest of the team starting from the beginning of the season to now? Vincent Trocheck's effort. I wish, and he's getting rewarded for it this year, dude. You could argue Panarin, Merchant, this, that, and a third. The fact of the matter is he's a point per game player right now. I believe he is a single point off of his career high. I think his career high is 74, maybe 75 he set with the Florida. I think it's 75. But he's getting ready to set career highs. He hits. He wins faceoffs. He doesn't stop moving. Again, no matter what point of the game it is, he does not stop. He plays in all scenarios, does everything. And again, for the millionth time, skates hard and plays hard. That is the style of hockey you require in the playoffs. And that is something, and he let us down last year against the New Jersey Devils. He had a terrible play. I think he had a single point last year in the playoffs.
He has 9 points in his last 5 games.
Yeah, dude, Trocheck, I'm telling you, is that guy. And if he plays the way he played against us when he was on Carolina in the playoffs and skates like a motherfucker and is just a nuisance and creates havoc, man, I'm telling you right now, that is the guy this team needs to be looking up to.
75 points is his career high, so he's off of it right now.
He's 2 off of that.
Yeah.
Never good to assume and only makes an ass out of you and me, but let's assume he's going to hit that.
Yeah. That entire line is having a career year. Like Lafreniere is at over 20. Yeah. He's at over 20 goals. Panarin's hit over 100 points.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not even like the Jonathan Chichu theory, it's like he just has Joe Thornton. It's not like Lafreniere just has Panarin. Like Lafreniere is significantly better than he was last year.
Yes.
Vinny Trocheck is significantly better than he was last year.
And
I gotta go back. I gotta go back to maybe one day I'll have Sean Avery on the podcast, but I gotta go back to the beginning of the year, the home opener against the Coyotes.
Yeah.
At the end of the game, Trocheck didn't drop the gloves. Avery called him out for it. I don't know if Trocheck saw that, but ever since then, it's been like he's taken his game to a whole nother level.
Yep.
He responded to that personally.
Yep.
And I think that's the best thing you could ask for.
100%.
So let's dissect the game against the Avalanche a little bit here. So stout competition the Rangers have been going up against. The Rangers hung in there, did not look out of place at all. Couple mistakes here and there, way better defensively. And then they had, 11 minutes in the first period where they didn't give up a shot on goal. I mean, against
to hold the Avalanche,
you're kidding me.
And I believe there was a power play. We were on the penalty kill at one point during that 11-minute stretch.
Yes, I think so too. And McKinnon's home point streak ended, right? Like they didn't go back and reward him.
I mean, it shouldn't have, but it did. Yes.
I mean, Lindgren Lindgren put it in his own net.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know what they were challenging on Kreider's go-ahead goal, that this stupid hand pass thing.
Yeah.
I was fully expecting that to get called back. So I was like, all right, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. And Toronto blessed us. But I think the Rangers can hang in there with any of the teams. Like I'm done with the narrative that the Rangers can't play against good teams. Like these other I'm going to give up. This is an analogy I got to give you. Some of you guys might not like it. I don't know. Evan and Matt might not like it in the chat here. You might like it, but here's my analogy. Just like Rocky 4. You know when Rocky's going up against Drago. Drago earlier in the movie, he kills Apollo Creed, right? In a boxing match. He kills Apollo Creed. He beats the crap out of him. And everyone's thinking, there's no way Rocky could do this. This guy's a machine. He's not unbeatable. This is like from Russia. He's on roids. He's a machine. He can't be stopped. But then in like one of the rounds where Rocky is fighting Drago, Rocky gets him with the nice punch to the face and cuts him. And the trader, who's a Duke? Duke is like, he's cut, he's
Yeah, he's
cut, he's
cut.
cut. And then Rocky just goes in and starts beating the crap out of him. The round ends, and he goes back to the corner, and Duke goes up to him. You see, he's not a machine. He's a man. These other teams, they're not machines. They're men. They make mistakes too. Florida's not playing that well. Colorado is beatable. If you can keep up with their skating, they're beatable. Boston is not a perfect team anymore. You could keep up with them. This is the way I feel about the Rangers. They may not go out and dominate every one of these teams as much as we want them to. I get it. I want to be so far and away better than all the other teams that without a shadow of a doubt, we win the Stanley Cup. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want to be like, all right, we have to take it to 7. We need a tie to get to the end. I want to be outright the winners. But most of the time, it's not going to end up like that. I think the Rangers have what it takes to keep up with these teams. Maybe not win in 4 or 5, but like 6 games, 7.
Yeah.
If they take it that far, like that's something.
They're finding ways to win.
They're finding ways to win. That's it's a long way of saying that, and that's my ice cold take of the week.
That was a good one. I like that, Joey. No, you're 100% right. They're finding ways to win. They're not doing the prettiest of ways. They're definitely there's a reason that in every betting app that they are Matt. They are definitely there's a reason they're the underdog in every matchup they go into, right? I mean, these teams are outplaying them for the most part, but they're finding ways to win. They don't ask how. They do not ask how.
And wait. I got to add to the analogy. You're going to love this. The most of that match, the Rocky versus Drago match, is Drago just punching Rocky in the face. Rocky's not blocking. He's not moving. All he's doing is taking the punches straight to the chin. That's his defense, is taking the punch straight to the face. And that's exactly what the Rangers are doing. They can't break the puck out.
That's actually a really good analogy right there, too.
You know,
they're just taking beatings and finding ways to win.
They take a beating, and then they counterattack.
Yeah.
This is how the Rangers play.
Yeah. No, you're right. I definitely think they could have done a little bit better at the deadline, though. Not the harp on the deadline, but as our two friends in the chat will agree.
I know.
Oh,
I would have loved Gensel.
Looking at what Gensel's doing in Carolina right now, Gensel is by no means being a passenger princess right now in Carolina. He's legitimately carrying the freight, and that would have been a hell of a pickup.
So much for the narrative that he's only good because of Crosby.
Dude.
I never believed that.
He's so fast. He's got good hands. He's got a good shot. He snaps the puck around. But we won't dwell on it. Do you want to talk about the NHL standings?
Yeah, let's talk about them.
All right. So this is just stuff that I wanted to bring up just about the standings, right?
Yeah.
So the Rangers first
stats.
Yep. Okay. So is the Rangers first in the NHL, right? We have a game at hand at the teams closest to us. That's Boston and Carolina with 99 points. Dallas with 101. We're at 102. A win tonight puts us at 50 wins. Our point percentage first in the league. Regulation wins, we are tied for third with 38. Winnipeg and Vancouver ahead of us both with 39. Regulation overtime wins, the ROW stat you see on NHL.com. The Rangers are first in the NHL. We are 1 ahead of Vancouver, who had the same amount of games played as us. 2 ahead of Winnipeg, same amount of games played. And it goes for Colorado, Florida, and Carolina, same amount of games played, except for Carolina, we have a game at hand. The goal differential, which this is what I think, this is kind of where we're getting to what we talked about earlier with the Rangers really not dominating, but finding ways to win. The New York Rangers in goal differential at a positive 48, which, by the way, is very impressive. That positive 48 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th in the entire NHL. Ahead of them are the 9th place Oilers, 3rd place Hurricanes, 2nd place Stars, 6th place Avalanche, 7th place Panthers, 5th place Vancouver Canucks. Again, finding ways to win, but not necessarily dominating. However, if you do goals for, there are 246 goals for are 8th, but their goals against less than 200. They are one of 6 teams, 198 goals against. Teams ahead of them are the Hurricanes, Canucks, Kings, Jets, and Panthers with the league low of 178 goals against, which is ridiculous.
So they're one of 6 teams with less than 200
less
goals
than
against.
200 goals against. Their power play.
For all we could,
go ahead.
Pause you right there. For all we complain about the defense. I
They
mean,
don't
a
give up
lot
very
of
many
that, I
goals.
think that was from the beginning of the season. So
And Shesterkin is still not
yeah,
having a great year. He's playing great as of late,
yeah,
but his year in a whole is really not that great, and we're still top 6 in goals
right.
against.
So I mean, it could be worse.
Could be much worse.
Yeah,
Power play has cooled down as we've all seen,
I
but they're still
don't
4th in
understand.
the league
Yeah,
at
I don't
26%.
understand that. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
the power plays, dude, it's been terrible. The goals they're getting on the power play are not really very pretty either. They're not moving the puck around. They're still way too predictable, play way too perimeter, and are not taking the low shots for Chris Kreider to tip.
That
The
power
whole point
play.
of the power play is for low shots and
Yeah,
rebounds, but we're just not doing that.
the power play where Kreider scored, that was a good one because they were all moving around.
Yes,
That
which
was
is
a
what
good
you
one.
need to do against an aggressive Colorado Avalanche team. Their penalty kills 4th in the league at 83.5%. They're behind the Flyers at 83.8, the Kings at 85.4, and the Hurricanes 85.6. The
Dude,
Rangers were at one point the best faceoff team in the league. Now they're at 6 with 52.4%.
so
Big
still
fucking whoop.
50% though.
Yeah,
But
my big thing with the Rangers that I think needs to be improved on vastly is the shots we're giving up a game. We're 12th in the league in shots against on the good side. We're not giving it the 12th most. We're giving it the 12th least, which is good, but again, not great. The 29.7 shots against per game. This is where it worries me. Our shots for per game is at 30.7, I think. 30.9, which is 16th. That is not a great differential for a team going in the playoffs. You want
what
to
is
be
the shot against?
29.7. Shots for is 30.9. So
That's too
you
close.
want that
Too
to
close.
break up a little bit. You look at
Yeah, yeah.
top teams in the league, the Carolina Hurricanes average 33.1 shots for per game and 25.9 shots against per game. You want to bring those numbers a little bit closer if at all possible, because mathematically and statistically speaking, if you shoot more than shots you give up against, typically you will outscore your opponent. Typically. So that might be something the Rangers want to work on. Now, shots in bunches is not necessarily going to guarantee you wins. The highest shooting teams in the league, I'm going to just give you teams out of the top 16. Rangers ahead of them are the Sabres at 15, not a playoff team. Calgary, not a playoff team. Vegas, good. Dallas, great. Devils, not a playoff team. Nashville's been hot. Ottawa in ninth, not a playoff team, even close. Kings, Leafs, Avalanche, Hurricanes, Penguins, not a playoff team. Flyers should sneak into the playoffs, but could fall out. Panthers, Oilers.
What is this for again?
Shots for per game.
Shots for per game.
And shots against per game. Hurricanes leading the way at 25.9, which is just the outlier of the century. Flyers don't give up many shots. The Panthers, Oilers, Stars, like you got to bring that gap a little bit tighter for the Rangers. You want to be shooting the puck more, because if you're shooting the puck more, that means you're not giving up as many shots. That gap needs to be widened, in my opinion.
I think a lot of if you look at Valley's what's it called, his stat pages at the end of the games, like the shots and the chances, the Rangers give up a lot of low danger chances, and I think that's because of Shesterkin. I think they play around that.
100%.
But if they could, I agree with you though. I agree. I think if, let's say, what is it, 30.9 to 29.7?
Something like that. Yeah.
So if the Rangers get 2 more shots and give up 2 less shots, I'll be fine with that. Like 32 shots to 27 against. I'm fine. I'll take it. Because Carolina is what, 33 to 25?
Yeah, it's insane.
Close, but
it's absolutely
that would
insane.
be close, whatever I said. But I mean, that's I think the Rangers, like getting shots, the Rangers seem to have a lot, based on my observations, it seems like the Rangers sometimes have trouble finding the lanes to get the pucks through. Like they'll get a lot of shots that are blocked, or they won't get it through, or they're deflected, something like that, in the offensive zone. And I don't know, they maybe throw in a couple fakes there to open up the lane.
Yes. So this is another thing I want to build off of is goals, a goal differential by strength. For some reason, I can't find the goal differential, but I can tell you the Rangers goals for and goals against. The Rangers goals for at 5v5 this season, they have 148. All right. That puts them at tied for 16th in the NHL. And the two teams we're tied with have a game at hand. So really we're 18th in the league in goals for at 5v5. Your 5v5 goal scoring leaders in the league: the Stars, the Avalanche, the Leafs, the Canucks, the Bruins. That's your top 5. All of which are top 5 teams in the NHL right now, I believe, in the standings.
The shot differential, or
this is goal differential. This is goals for at 5v5. Goals against at 5v5. The Rangers are 10th with 142. So our goal differential at 5v5 is +6. That is it.
And
That is it.
normal, it's plus, what is it, plus 48?
No, I mean, you
Yeah.
should be at least +20. Just for example, the Winnipeg Jets.
No. I mean, like, at all strengths. Like, before, you said it was plus some, I forget what it was. So
That's what I couldn't find is the goal differential at 5v5. That's what I was trying to find, but I
oh,
couldn't
okay.
find it. But at 5v5, the Rangers are just a +6. The Winnipeg Jets goals against at 5v5 107. The Panthers 109. Canucks 119. Bruins 125. Kings 126. Hurricanes 130. It's like the good teams do not give up goals 5v5, and they score a lot of goals at 5v5. The Rangers gap is very tight. I wish I could find the exact differential number. Really disappointed that I can't
The
find differential.
Rangers have
But
made an improvement 5-on-5,
yeah,
but
but
it's
for
gotta be even
example,
better.
Winnipeg is at about a +50 in 5v5 goal differential. All right,
Wow.
that's a top team right there.
Wow.
Yeah, hold on. Let me see if I could do this real quick. I'm gonna try to
I
duplicate the screen.
wonder if you look at it, can you go back a year and see who the
What they were
top
last
teams
year.
were? Yeah, because I
I
wanna see who won the
can just
Stanley
give me
Cup.
1 second. I'm gonna try to just do
This
this
is interesting
differential so
here.
we could. All right, so all right, so back to goals again. All right, so let's do the Florida Panthers first, right? Because that's a pretty good measuring stick because we might see them in the playoffs. So the Florida Panthers 5v5 scoring are at where the hell is Florida? Where's Florida? I have to control F this because I literally can't find them. I'm blind as shit. Yeah, the Florida Panthers are not great 5v5 either, so this might not be a good example. At 133 goals for at 5v5. Goals against 5v5. Oh, yeah, they're a fat negative. They're like a negative 50 something. Holy
Who is
shit.
this?
Oh, wait, hold on. I'm looking at the wrong fucking thing. Whoopsies. All right. Never mind. I take it back. All right. Florida Panthers goals against at 5v5. 109 against,
This is
133
this year.
for. Is this year. So they are like a +20 something. All right. I'm just going to go based on like top team. We already did Winnipeg, which is +50. Vancouver Canucks, 119 goals against at 5v5. Goals for 5v5 for the Vancouver Canucks. 172. So that's like a plus almost 60 something. You see what I'm saying? The Rangers
Yeah.
goal differential at a +6 compared against the other top teams, a few I've just mentioned. It's not good at all. The Boston Bruins, 162 goals for, 125 goals against, almost a +40. And the Rangers are only sitting at a +6. 5v5 hockey, not good. We got to get better at 5v5, especially going into the playoffs.
Seems to be the beating the dead horse here. Like, this is the thing that we always talk about the past few years, is that the Rangers need to improve even strength play. In many ways, it's been improved this year, but not nearly enough to the point where
No.
you need to compete with these guys to win the Stanley Cup. Like,
No.
that's got to get better.
You're not going to win with special teams is a big part of winning, but it's not entirely.
I do
winning.
want to see what it was last year, though. So, like, can you back it up 1 year? I'm willing to bet that the two best teams were Florida and Vegas. I'm willing to bet those are two of the best teams.
All right, so last is 22-23. All right. Goals against at 5v5 last year. The best team was the Bruins with 114 goals against. Model, and the second closest team was Carolina, 140. Goals against 5v5. Vegas 159, Florida 160. That's against.
Oh, wow.
Goals for 5v5. Panthers 192, Vegas 187. That's still a +30 for each of them.
Yeah,
like just about +30.
That's good.
Rangers are not even close to that.
Nah. Last year they weren't a good 5-on-5 team.
No, a 5v5 hockey is so important because 90% of games are played at 5v5. And if you're not outscoring your opponents at 5v5 more than +6 going into the playoffs, it's a little bit dangerous. You can't rely on special teams. The games are not called nearly as tight in the playoffs. There's not as many penalties. Players get away with a little bit more. And we already do not draw a whole lot of penalties compared to the rest of the league. So we're not going to be getting a lot of power plays. We've got to be able to score 5-on-5, and it is not happening. This is where Kreider and Zibanejad need to step up.
Could we also see, like, the third line get some extra shifts too?
Yes.
We
already went over that with Kakko's time on ice. Like, it's clearly the third line is not getting their reps, which is a shame because of how well they've been playing. They should be getting significantly more reps than they are.
Yeah, like if you need momentum change, you look to those guys because usually in these games where they come back, it starts with them. That's
Yes.
what I've noticed is that it starts with them to get something going, and then the Rangers are able to pile on a couple extra shifts here and there where they string them together
Yep.
consecutively and they build momentum that way. So,
Yeah.
like I said before in previous episodes, I think the third line moves the needle for me. But yeah, Zibanejad and Kreider need to start scoring more goals at actual hockey time. I'm gonna call even strength hockey like actual hockey time because 90% of the game is pretty much the entire game.
Do you want to know where Kreider and Zibanejad sit in the entire NHL in 5v5 goals?
Oh boy.
All right.
Go ahead.
Chris Kreider is at 85th in the NHL in 5v5 points. This is points, not goals. Points. Mika Zibanejad, 126th.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow. Jeez.
You know who's ahead of Mika Zibanejad? Or ahead and tied? Ryan Hartman, Anthony Mantha, Warren Fogle, who we all said we wanted. Warren Fogle. Matthew Joseph, who we all said we wanted. Nils Höglander, who's averaging 11 minutes a fucking game. Thomas Harley. Yegor Sharangovich. Mangiapane. Connor
Damn.
Garland. Pavel Zacha. I'm not going to name all of them. I'm just going to name the funny ones. Brian Rust. Trent Frederick. The Bruins' fourth line center.
Has more
Yes.
more 5-on-5 points.
Now, granted, Frederick's having a ridiculous year. 39 points in 74 games. I think he's their third line center now, but still, yeah. He's up there. Tarasenko. Could have had back for almost nothing. Tarasenko was actually tied with Chris Kreider.
Oh my
85th.
god.
Yeah.
Who's above Kreider?
Pavel Buchnevich. Drake Batherson. I'm not gonna, Brock Nelson's actually a really good player, so I won't use him as an example. Alexis Lafreniere, 41. Tied for 55th.
They
Not
want to
bad.
know, Evan wants to know where Gensel is on that list.
In 5v5 scoring.
Yes.
26th in the entire NHL.
Wow.
I'm sorry, tied for 26th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, dude.
Yeah. And if he has a 2-point night tonight, he'll be tied for 19th. Panarin obviously is the highest up for the New York Rangers. He's 6th in the NHL in 5v5 points. Vincent Trocheck, I believe, is top. Yeah, he's 25th, tied for 23rd with 49 even strength points. 14.
All right, so all this to say that the Rangers are in a good spot right now, but
can't score 5v5.
they have to improve this. Between now and the playoffs, this has got to be like the main area of focus here.
Yeah.
I think the D pairs are going back to the way they were when Trouba is healthy.
Which is a shame because I love the way love the way Schneider and Miller played. I think Miller and Schneider have played better than Trouba and Schneider, personally.
Trouba and Miller?
No, Miller and Schneider, sorry. Miller and Schneider, I think, should be the pair. I thought they played perfect together.
I talked last week about this. The only thing I wouldn't mind that, except where's Trouba playing? Like, who's he paired with? Jones?
I'll let that be Trouba's problem. You could do Trouba Lindgren as a third pair, then you have a legitimate shutdown pair, keep Fox and Jones. I don't give a shit. I think Schneider away from Miller has
I have a problem with that.
Schneider has been so bad prior to being paired with Miller. I worry about splitting them up again, especially if you're going to pair him with Jones if Gustafson's out long term, because he was not playing well with Gustafson. You put Schneider and Jones together, that could get a little weird. I don't know. I'd venture to say, fine, Lindgren, Fox, Miller, Schneider, Jones, Trouba, fine. I'd be okay with that. At least then you still have someone that could skate and cover Trouba's slow ass if he gets caught, which he always does.
That's true. That's true.
I think you'd be out of your mind. Is there a way you can look up how Schneider and Miller have done 5v5 and then compare them to Miller Trouba 5v5?
It will be difficult because the sample size. I was looking at it like a couple weeks ago, and it was only like 3 or 4 games, but actually Miller Schneider didn't look that it didn't look that good.
Really?
Yeah, the numbers didn't look that good. It was like the chances, the shot attempts for against it was like in the 30%.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Oof.
And I asked Rob Luker.
Rob
Luker about it. I'm like, why are they so low? And he's like, it's just a small sample size. I could check right now. I'm gonna check right now, actually.
Yeah.
So let's see. Miller and
Oh my
where is he?
God,
Braden
Danton
Schneider
Heinen.
and select player. Okay. Wait. I have to change by date. So since March 8th through today. Okay. Let's see. 11 games. All right, it's gotten a lot better. It's gotten a lot better. Yeah. It's all right, so 46.15 Corsi 4 percentage. 5 on 5. Shots for 79, shots against 87.
That's not shocking considering they're typically playing against other teams' top lines.
Expected goals for percentage 42.7.
Okay.
Scoring chances for 43.6. And high danger chances high danger chance for percentage 44.83%.
Yeah, really not great numbers. But when you
Let's
take into
look.
account what they're playing against, typically,
I will look. All right. So how many games is that? March 8th through today. How many games is that? So
maybe 10 games, maybe 11,
oh
maybe
wait, it
12.
says 11 games. 11 games. So in the previous, so let's do by team games. Miller and Truba. Let's do last 11 team games that they played together. Oh well, the last okay, hang on. I can't do it like that. Never mind.
No, it won't work.
Yeah, no, because it just considers like the last 11 games that the team has played, not like the 11 games Truba's played. Let's see. When let's just do through the season.
Okay.
Through the season, Miller and Truba, Corsi 4 percentage 46.92. That's pretty similar to the other one. Shots for percentage 48.46. Goals for percentage 50%.
Yeah,
Dead
that's
even.
all right.
Expected goals for percentage 47.99. Scoring chance for 48.65. High danger chance for percentage 49.4. It's really close. Like,
Yeah, it's not far off.
I don't think Laviolette's gonna break that up. I think he's going back with them because
For
he
shame.
also said
Damn.
like, I want to stick with what got us here. But I will say though that these numbers, the publicly available sites, sometimes they get them wrong.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Mm.
Let's see. What are these things here saying? Keandre Schneider. I mean, these guys like these for 58. It was 58 games played.
Right.
Those were the numbers. Miller and Truba.
Right.
It really wasn't as bad as we thought it was, but I don't know about that. I don't know. Because I'm kind of on your side. I'm on your guys' side there. Anyways, let's move over to baseball. Mets opening day.
Yikes.
What is it? Since 1970, I think the Mets are like
the best opening day team in
7 and 46 and 13, maybe. I think it was. And they got one hit yesterday.
Yeah. The offenses just look terrible. The defense and the pitching actually did not look that bad.
Quintana did not look good.
No, we knew Quintana sucked. I don't know why they started him, but regardless.
Because he had a good end of the season, and everybody's injured. That's why.
Dude. But this is why I was hard on the Mets going into the season and why I didn't get my hopes up. The bench is not good. The bullpen is still not great. The starting rotation has 5 question marks in it. Again, the starting rotation that consists of 5 pitchers contains 5 question marks right now. Okay. So I'm not really sure. There was not much to be excited about. That yesterday should not have been a shock. This, again, is the same roster we had as last year. The only difference is we added Harrison Bader, who is he an upgrade?
Above average defensively. Yes, he's good defensively.
Great defensively.
Offensively.
He's one of the best defensive outfielders in the league. But offensively,
I don't know anything about him.
Doesn't really, he hits okay. And then like they're saying in chat, Tyrone Taylor hitting cleanup.
This is like John Mayberry Jr. hitting in our lineup in 2015. Remember that?
This is like, yeah. Yeah.
Alejandro De Aza.
Like this is just it's not even mid. Like this lineup is not even mid. It just like right off the rip, first impressions, it sucks. They have good young talent in the minors that I think would be better used in the MLB than what is actually in the MLB. I still will not forgive this team for signing Joey Wendell and making it like it was a big fucking announcement. They signed a career platoon player who's not even a good platoon player at that. You know, for a team that is claiming they're so heavy on analytics, clearly does not read into very much analytics because they did not really sign very many good analytical players. They signed guys who they think they could make good analytical players. I was watching the game at work yesterday, and it's just like they didn't impress me. They did not impress me at all. The offense sucks. It's
The
terrible.
Brewers starting pitcher impressed me.
Dude, any pitcher's going to impress against this Mets offense. It's like, dude, unless McNeil magically bats over 300 again, Nimmo has an 800 plus OPS. Like, I just don't. Yeah, Seymour Wiener was actually the highlight of the game. I don't know, dude. I'm not really. I'm not big on this. Maybe they'll surprise me. I mean, it's still just one
Yeah,
game.
I don't know what to think of this Mets team.
I
Some people
could-
are saying
yeah.
that they think they could surprise a lot of people. I don't know, man. It's
Looking
the
at the
bat.
team on paper, it would take an awful lot for them to go positive in win percentage. It would take a lot because you're banking on a lot of guys having good seasons compared to what they've been at recently.
Last year, all those guys had bad seasons.
Every one of them.
Yeah. Like Alonso hit 217, or Alvarez didn't even hit for average.
No.
McNeil was a down year. You know what I mean? I think Lindor might have been the only one, or maybe Nimmo those are the only two guys that had good seasons.
Yeah.
Lindor had a good season.
Marte sucked last year.
Marte
was
at least
he had our
Marte,
only hit yesterday.
Marte actually looked pretty good yesterday.
Yeah, he looked like he was engaged for once, which is weird.
He looked healthy.
We'll take that. I don't know, man. I'm not very big on this Mets team right now. I'm not at all
JD
optimistic.
Martinez in the lineup already.
Yeah, and dude, like, and we just saw what happened yesterday. We had one hit in 9 innings yesterday. What is one bat going to do that's going to change a team that got one hit?
Right.
But I'm not going to shit on them too much because it is just one regular season game. I'll give them a shot, let them heat up a little bit, and then disappoint again in September and August. So it's fine. Just right now, preliminarily speaking, my hopes are about as low as they can get.
And Jeff McNeil and Rhys Hoskins had a bit of an altercation. Bit of an altercation yesterday.
If you're going to slide into someone on second base, don't duck your head like a little pussy, pretend you're hurt, run back to the dugout, and then talk shit.
I gotta pull
such a little bitch.
I have to pull up the quote. What he responded to that. I have to pull this up. It was like pretty funny. Hang on. He stayed down. I'm trying to find the part. I kind of laid there after it. I was just letting whatever McNeil needed to get out, let him get it out, and I just saw it and ran off the field after that, and then got to see everybody on the team out there. So I don't really have much else to be completely honest with you, Hoskins said. I think that's BS. I think that's BS.
It's the biggest cop out. Like, just say what it is. Call yourself a little bitch because that's what you are, dude. Like, what are you talking about?
Like,
when you ran away from Jeff McNeil, like he's 160 pounds soaking wet holding a brick. What are you talking about?
The slide was clean. They said that they reviewed the slide. It was legal. I guess it's clean. It was late, though. That's the thing. It was late, and I think McNeil was pissed about the fact
he slid his ankle.
He spiked him on his right leg, and he almost took his left knee out. Like, that could have been really bad.
Yeah, and listen, and I am all for, as a runner, you know what double plays can be turned. It's your job, though it might not be in the rule book. It's your job to try to do whatever you can to take that throw and make it more difficult in the second baseman. That is not at all what I have the issue with. I have the issue with cleating someone and trying to take out their legs. It's not what you're not like. We've seen enough guys have their careers ruined and destroyed from that. Does anyone remember the series against the Dodgers? Does anyone remember fucking Chase Utley? Because I do. I think we all do. I can think of one individual shortstop who certainly had their career ruined by that fucking slide. I can certainly remember that. It just like
I
at
think
least make an effort to hit the bag and pretend like you bounced off the bag. He didn't even slide for the bag. He missed the bag completely.
I think I would not be as mad if these guys just duked it out right there, right on
Yeah,
the field.
let him chuck
Like, the
knucks.
benches once the benches and the bullpens cleared, I
Yeah,
was like,
stupid.
"There's no fighting going on here." This is how it goes in baseball. It's all just for show,
It is.
always. How many times in the past 2 years since Buck Showalter came did the dugouts clear after the Mets got hit by a pitch? And how many times were there punches thrown?
Never.
0.
Never.
0. It's all for show.
It's
I
like
don't believe it. Like, why are the guys from the bullpen coming out? You know nothing's gonna happen. You can't even see what's going on. What do
yeah.
you think is gonna happen? Why are you coming out into the field? Like, I don't get that.
It did not even what killed me the most too, it's not even like McNeil was hogging the bag. He was behind the base. Like it's not I don't know, dude. This shit's just so stupid. That it just don't even get me started on it because I'm about to wig out. It's way too early to wig out because that shit pissed me off so much. It's so
98,
stupid.
the radio was talking about how, like, the game polices itself. If that were true, then we'd see actual fights, right?
Yeah.
Like, this would be settled. This wouldn't carry out the rest of the season.
Yep.
You already know that we're already starting.
Yeah.
They're chirping in the what's it called? In the
Dugouts.
post game, the
Oh, the
dugouts,
post,
and the
yeah.
post game comments too. This is gonna boil over unless they don't settle this. So I'm expecting some retaliation from the Mets. Maybe
They'll
not.
probably plunk him. They'll plunk him.
I would throw behind him. Like, if you're gonna do
Yeah.
something, just throw behind him. But
Yeah.
don't do it right away. You
And
gotta
don't put him on base so he could slide again.
right. And Don was saying, if Severino goes out there, this is his first game. They're gonna issue warnings to both teams.
Yeah.
You don't want to go down a starter. Absolutely. You don't want to
No.
go down a starter. So wait until like the 5th or the 6th inning or something like that. I don't know. But like Hoskins is playing hard. I get it. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. Yeah. You could play hard. I want you to. But the guy is screaming in your face.
Yeah.
You're not going to like acknowledge that.
Be a man.
Instead, you run back to your teammates, your dugout, and then you gesture to him that he's a baby. If you're gonna do that, do it right in front of him.
Yeah, don't run away.
Why?
And hide
Why you
behind your
not?
whole
Why
team,
wouldn't
wuss.
you do that? Because you're afraid you're gonna get into a fight.
Yeah,
You could. I don't know, man.
There's not really much accountability in baseball. You might get hit by a pitch. That's it.
I'm saying. I think okay. The slide was clean. But I think McNeil was right for reacting the way that he did. I think
Yes.
I agree with the way McNeil reacted. I agree with how Alonso and Lindor and those guys, what they had to say about McNeil reacting about that. I agree with it 100%. I think the two things can be true at the same time.
I agree. That's a good point. He had every right to react the way he did.
Our ass is in the jackpot. Terry, you gotta give us a shot. Just trying to throw a fucking basketball.
Jesus.
One of the greatest videos ever.
Jesus Christ.
No, not in that situation. No.
God almighty.
Man, like, we're already starting game 1.
What time do they play today? They have the 1:40.
I think it's the same time. I think it's the same time that the Rangers, the Mets play. Yeah.
Yeah, the Rangers play at 6. They with the Coyotes at 6. Thank God. I love it when the Rangers have games that are earlier than 7 o'clock. I hate night games.
Yeah.
During the weekends.
It's gonna be a long season of baseball, though, for sure.
Very much so. But if they're quote unquote low risk, high upside guys hit, could be a good season. We could have a lot to look forward to. But we got to get Kodai Senga back, and the offense has got to get started eventually.
Absolutely. Yeah.
140.
Martinez
140.
protecting Alonso will be very helpful in the lineup.
Why do they have Short starting at third base?
I don't know who that is. I didn't watch any preseason or spring training. I did not watch that much.
Is Beatty not in the lineup today?
Probably not. He played yesterday.
And Alvarez is batting. Oh my God.
Alvarez was batting 6th or 7th yesterday.
He's batting 7th today.
Lefties on the mound.
Oh my God. They had.
I was gonna say.
Oh, okay.
I don't understand the hate for Vientos. I guess he didn't have a good year last year.
No, Beatty doesn't hit well against lefties, but now that I understand. That's fine. All right. Regardless, I take it back. Whatever.
All right, fellas. Nick, you have anything else to say before we wrap it up here?
Hopefully, the next time I talk to you, the Rangers will be advancing to some round in the playoffs.
Yeah, hopefully. That would be nice. That would be nice.
Unless we do an end of the season stream, which we might have an end of the season Rangers Central stream, which will be a thick one.
We will be there.
We will be there.
We will be there. Okay, Ice Cold Takes fans, thanks for watching the show live. If you're listening on Spotify, thank you. We'll see you guys next week.